Today we're going to beat the winter blues with 5 wonderful ideas to pamper yourself. That's coming up next. Welcome back, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. I'm so excited about today's video because we're talking about beating the winter blues, something that I love to do. So I'll be sharing what I'm doing and loving to make these winter months that much more fun, cozy, and comfortable. And the second reason that I'm so excited for this video is that it is a big collaboration with a whole host of wonderful, mature beauty YouTubers. I know that at least for me, when I started looking onto YouTube for beauty advice and suggestions and just some interesting topics, I had a hard time finding women my age. The reason is that they don't come up in search. You know, you can type in mature beauty and it's all the same few women. And no one really gets the idea of how many wonderful, mature beauty YouTubers there are. So this is your opportunity to meet a whole bunch of wonderful new women that you're going to love and want to follow. They'll be sharing their ideas for beating the winter blues as well. I'll have all their channels linked and listed below. Make sure you go over and see what each one of them has to say, because we're all sharing our 5 favorite ideas for beating the winter blues. And personally, I can't wait to see what the other women are going to share. You know, we didn't talk about it beforehand. It's kind of a secret to all of us. I'm excited to find out what great ideas that I'm going to learn about too. So make sure you check all those channels out and you're going to make some new friends. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. There's a lot more great information just waiting for you there. Today I'm so thrilled to be sharing with you all the things that I've been doing this winter and I've done for many winters past to kind of make these cold, rainy months a little bit more comfortable. The first ones I'm sharing are kind of some fun, easy, inexpensive, very affordable DIY ideas, and I'll make sure that I have all the recipes and all the little details listed over on the blog, and I'll put the link to that right down below in the description. So everything I'm going to talk about is going to be very clearly outlined over on the blog. And I might even put together a PDF where you can download the recipes and the instructions and that sort of thing. I want to make sure that you stay to the very end because the last one I'm going to be sharing is a little bit different. It's not a pampering thing per se that we think about when we think of pampering, and it's not a DIY, it's something very different. And even if it's not something that you can put into place this year in your life, I want to plant a seed because it's good information that you might be able to use down the road. So with that, let's get started. The winter season can be very, very hard on our poor little skin. I know I struggle with dry skin and dry lips and dry face and everything during the cold winter months. But did you know that probably in your kitchen right now you have the perfect ingredients for the best body scrub I've ever used? I don't know about you, but coffee is a major part of my morning. I make my French press coffee every morning. And when I'm done, what do I have inside? A whole bunch of coffee grounds, which I used to throw away. Well, I don't anymore. Now I save my coffee ground. I add a little bit of sugar and some coconut oil, and this mixture is going to make the best body scrub you've ever used. I'm not kidding you. This stuff will make your skin soft as a baby's bottom all over. You simply mix the 3 ingredients together into a little paste, and you can use however much of each ingredient that you like. If you like a little bit more of a gritty texture with your scrub, use more coffee grounds. If you like a little bit more of a fine texture with your scrub, use more sugar, and then add as much coconut oil as is comfortable for you. It makes this wonderful thick paste that you just sort of slather all over your body. You can see it right here. It does such a wonderful job of exfoliating your skin. And the best part is if you love the smell of coffee, you're going to love this because it steams up in your shower and just smells wonderful. So if you're struggling with dry winter skin, give this a try. I'm sure that you've got most of the ingredients in your kitchen. It takes about 3 minutes to whip it up, and you've got a perfectly wonderful and effective and affordable body scrub. The winter is really good at making my lips very dry and cracked. How about yours? It's a struggle to keep my lips soft and moist during the cold winter months, and I used to make my own sugar lip scrub, and it did a great job. So I'd make the scrub, use it on my lips, put on a little bit of moisturizer, go to sleep, and wake up with beautiful lips in the morning. However, I don't make my own anymore because why would I? e.l.f. has come up with this wonderful lip scrub lipstick all in a little tube. I think it's about $3 or $4. It's so inexpensive and so convenient. It comes in this wonderful little tube and it looks just like a bullet lipstick, but it's actually sugar lip scrub right in there. And you simply rub it over your lips just like you would your own homemade lip scrub. And then I take my finger and sort of exfoliate around and getting all my lips and the outside of my lips. Then I'll wipe it off and put on what I love right now to moisturize and nourish my lips, which is my Aquaphor. And I have been so pleased with this e.l.f. lip scrub because it's so convenient. I don't have to whip anything up. It's already here for me. And you know, I've had this for probably 6 months and I still have quite a bit to go. So it's a terrific value. It works wonderfully and I truly love it. If you're struggling with dry, cracked lips, give this a try. I think it might be a good help for you. I love keeping good essential oils around the house, and they become particularly useful during the winter months when I want to give myself that kind of cozy, comforting, nurturing spa treatment at home. My favorite flavors in essential oils are eucalyptus and lemongrass. For some reason, the combination of these two just give me that luxurious spa feeling. Often I'll just sprinkle a couple of drops on a light bulb, and then when I turn that light on in the house, it scents up my entire house. One thing I love doing with my essential oils now is adding them to some Epsom salts, stirring it around really good, and using that for bath salts. I haven't found anything high-end, low-end, drugstore, luxury store that I enjoy more than just my own scented Epsom salt bath salts. And I would make them in a big container, just turn it all around with those essential oils in there so it mixes up really good. And then when you pour it in the bath, the aroma is just delicious. And of course, the Epsom salts are wonderful for your skin. However, now where I'm living, I don't have a bathtub. So I found a solution. In comes the shower melts. Have you ever made shower melts, or have you ever heard of shower melts? These are a wonderful little addition to your shower. And if you only have a shower, or if you shower mostly, these are something that you're going to want to know about. Shower melts are these little balls of yummy scented ingredients that you put in the shower. You can either put it on the ledge or down on the floor. You don't want to put it in the direct stream of the shower. And what they do is they slowly melt during the shower and give off this wonderful scented aroma of whatever your essential oils that you used in them. Shower melts are so yummy, you will get used to and really crave standing in the shower and having that whole, for me, eucalyptus and lemongrass scent. It's just yummy and wonderful and soothing and just so nurturing during the cold winter months. These are so easy to put together and with ingredients that you already have in your kitchen. There's lots of recipes out there, and I'll go ahead and share the recipe that I love the best. Usually the ingredients are baking soda, Epsom salts, sea salt. Sometimes the recipe calls for cornstarch. There's a lot of variety in the recipes out there, but generally baking soda is the main ingredient. You then add a little bit of water, just a couple of drops at a time, to make kind of a very wet sand kind of paste. And in that you add your essential oils. It's so easy. And of course, the more oils you add, the more scented that your shower is going to be. You then take the mixture and pour it into a silicone mold, put it in the freezer, let it set up, and then you've got your little shower melts. I don't have a silicone mold and I didn't feel like buying one, so I changed up the recipe just a little bit. I add just a tiny amount of flour into my recipe to make it a little bit stiffer. And then I just roll it into balls, put it on a cookie sheet, and put them in the freezer. And I've got shower melts that have just a tiny bit of flour in them, so I don't need a mold. I won't put that in the recipe that I put over on the blog, but you heard it here first. If you want to eliminate the whole need for a mold for your shower melts, just go ahead and throw in a tiny bit of flour so it gets stiff enough that you can just roll it into a little ball. Kind of looks like a cookie, doesn't it? But it's not. It's the wonderful way that you're going to start your morning, and I think you're going to love it. I think you probably caught on that I'm sharing a lot more than 5 ideas. Winter is just one of my favorite times of the year because I get so cozy and do all these nurturing things. So I'm throwing everything at you today. All right, guys, this next one, no judging. You guys know I don't spend money just to spend money. So this next item I really struggled with because it seemed a little bit, I don't know, unnecessary, but I'm so glad I did it. I went out and bought a heated lap blanket. Not kidding you. I plug this in and I put it on my lap when I'm sitting on the couch, and it is so wonderful and so yummy. You know, I struggled with getting one of these for a long time. I live in a very old, 100 years or more, old house right on the cliffs of the Pacific Ocean in Northern California. It's cold here and this house is drafty. And this was built long before there was central heating and air. It gets chilly in here. And I really thought, oh, a lap blanket, a heated lap blanket would be so wonderful. But I thought, that just seems like such an unnecessary expense and thing to own. It just seemed a little silly to me. Well, I finally went ahead and pulled the trigger. And I can tell you this right now, and this is from someone who doesn't like to buy a lot of unnecessary stuff. It is wonderful. I so look forward to it, and it's become just a really wonderful part of my evenings. So I'll go ahead and link and list the blanket that I purchased. I looked at them for probably more than a month, thinking whether I wanted to get one or not, or whether it was silly or if it was a good idea. And it turns out it's a wonderful idea. So I'll go ahead and show you the one that I bought. I think there's probably a lot of good choices. I got mine off of Amazon and I'm really happy with it. Heated lap blanket. I'm telling you, it's one of my yummy parts of this winter season. The next thing I want to share with you is a little bit different, and now we're getting into the little bit different things. It's the perfect accessory for my heated lap blanket that I cozy up with in the evenings. And that is my subscription to Audible. That's books on tape. And I listen to them on my phone. And if you don't do that, and if you've never really thought about it, stick with me here. I think this is something that you might be interested in. I have a subscription to Audible. I pay a monthly fee to Audible, and I think it might be $12 or $15. It's very affordable. But here's what it's done for me. I have found, because I have that subscription, and I'm pretty sure this subscription gives me 2 credits a month. I'm not going to give you exact numbers because as soon as I do, they're going to change the plan or change the rate or something like that. But I think right now I get 2 credits a month. And most books on Audible are 1 credit. What I'm finding is that when I hear about a book or someone suggests a title, or anytime that I get an idea about an author I might want to look into, I hop right onto Audible and boom, I can buy that book for 1 credit. What I've noticed is that I am reading, actually listening, I call it reading, so much more and learning so much more, and it's opening up my world so much more because I have those credits. If I didn't have those credits, I don't think I would actually go out and buy the book or download the book. It really has been a wonderful way for me to learn and expand my horizons by having that Audible subscription. What I'll do in the evening is I'll put on my cozy lap blanket, put on a book on Audible, and sit there and crochet or draw or just relax and have some tea, listen to my book, and I'm having a wonderful winter evening and learning something new. If that sounds interesting to you, I'll go ahead and link it down below. Check it out. It might be something that you'll enjoy. Now we're on to the last thing that even if you can't take advantage of this winter season, I want to at least plant the seed or get you to think about. I'll tell you what the concept is and then I'll give you an example, and I think that you'll find it interesting, so stick with me here. This is my favorite time of the year to travel. And I'm not talking about going to Hawaii to get out of the winter snow or the Caribbean. I'm talking about traveling to someplace different than that. There's really two reasons why I love to travel this time of the year. First of all, it's generally cold and dreary where I am, or snowy depending on where I'm living at the time. And it's a very inexpensive time of the year to travel to a lot of places. Right now, smaller little hotels or B&Bs, this is their slow season. They're really looking for people to rent rooms to and are offering oftentimes wonderful wintertime rates. If there's a little area near you, a little resort near you, go ahead and check out and see what the rates are. And you might find that you're going to be getting a wonderful room in a wonderful location for about half the price of what you would spend in the high season. I love to travel this time of the year, particularly across the country or outside of the country, because airline fares are super low right now. And if I'm going to travel during the year, I'll start looking for the flights in January and February, because if I purchase my ticket now, but even though I'm flying in July or September, I'm going to get a great rate on that fare. The airlines are really looking for a cash infusion because not a lot of people are going on vacation this time of the year. To illustrate my point, I want to tell you a story. A few years back, I was living in Lake Tahoe. Now, Lake Tahoe snows. Sometimes a lot. I was heading into the winter months. It had already started snowing. I think it was like November. I was not relishing the idea of spending the next 4 or 5 months in the snow. I don't ski, but I do snowshoe. But come on, how much can you snowshoe at any given winter season? So I sat down on my computer and I started looking around at flights. Lo and behold, I found a flight round trip from San Francisco to Rome for less than $500. Then I got on Airbnb and started looking up apartments in Florence, because although I didn't want to spend time in Rome, I thought spending some time in Florence sounded wonderful. I got on Airbnb and started looking at what was available. Then I picked the ones that were my top picks and in the location where I wanted to be in the city. I then emailed the owners of those particular apartments and asked them if they were interested in giving me a rate if I stayed for a little bit longer, and what would they offer me. A lot of them got back to me, and I finally chose one. It was a beautiful apartment, 2 rooms, a full kitchen, an upstairs loft, a beautiful bathroom, and it was literally right down the street from the Duomo, which is the huge cathedral in Florence. I woke up every day to the sound of bells from the Duomo. It was on a street called Via Servi, and truly it was less than 2 blocks for me to be right in the middle of Florence. Because I had emailed the owner and asked them to give me the rate, I was able to go to Florence and live there for 2 months and pay $800 a month for this fabulous apartment that was right downtown. For the entire time that I was in Florence, and I lived in Florence for 2 months, with that round-trip airfare under $500 and that beautiful apartment for $800 a month, I ended up spending less than $2,500 to live in Florence for 2 months. Now, when I talk about that number, what I'm talking about are the expenses that I had in addition to what I would have at home. And actually, it was a lot less, because if you add up $800 twice, plus the airfare, that's less than $2,500. And I actually saved money on my auto expenses because I downgraded my insurance for the 2 months that my car was parked, and I didn't have to pay for gas or oil changes or that sort of thing. I ended up spending 2 months in Florence, had a fabulous time for a very, very affordable price. I want to share this with you because this time of year it can be dreary and cold and wet and rainy. Well, Florence was just fine. It was in the 50s, it was a little drizzly, and the wonderful thing is that no one was there. I could walk right into the museums and the art galleries and the restaurants, and it was just like having Disneyland all to myself. Traveling this time of year, it's my favorite thing to do. Unfortunately, it's not in the cards for me this winter season, but you better believe next winter season I'm going to be on a plane to somewhere. I want to thank you for joining me for these 5, well actually for me it was a lot more than 5, ideas for getting through the winter months and pampering yourself and kicking those blues to the curb. What I'm going to do right now is go down and go through that entire list below and look at what all the other women have shared. Make sure you visit all those women down below. You're going to meet a lot of wonderful new friends and have a lot more wonderful options when you hop here onto YouTube looking for women our age talking about things that are important to us. If you're coming from one of the other channels, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. We've got a lot more great information just waiting for you there. It just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy this winter season, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.